What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation. It starts right now. Crunch time coming in around an hour and 15 minutes. You got TastefulTides, Tim Buell. You have the other Boston guy, Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, leader of the Juggalos, and of course, Kevin Roth. We might have a very sad Kevin Roth. I feel like we're gonna have a very sad Kevin Roth later on, and we'll discuss. It is Bobby Gomes, myself, Bobby Gomes. 8 games on DK, 10 gamer. FanDuel insisted. They said 8 games, not enough. We need you to also talk about the Magic and the Warriors, the Suns and the Blazers. God forbid we don't talk about the Blazers on the FanDuel slates. We're getting close, Bobby. We're getting close to the trade deadline, but it's already. Have you heard? Maybe are you sitting down? Have you heard?
I've heard some stuff happened over the weekend.
Yeah. Max Christie was traded. You've heard about this?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
De'Aaron Fox was moved.
De'Aaron Fox.
And it's a lot of stuff. Luka, remember him? He used to play basketball really well. We haven't seen him for a bit.
He was good at the basketball stuff for sure.
Pretty good. Well, if you ask the Mavericks, he's not worth paying. So apparently, God forbid you pay him the Supermax. He's only 25 years old and been like the best basketball player for. How many players have had the career he's had the first 5-6 years of his career? Like 4 dudes. He's on the move to
Nico. Nico's gonna fix it all. Nico, it'll be all right. Nico, get it.
Man, did you want to? I mean, I know now at this point everybody's gonna talk through it and all that kind of stuff, but it's still wild. I was one of those people that I saw it come across and I was like, this has to be fake. There's no way this is real. And like I think everybody else was thinking the same thing, and then eventually it was confirmed. Does Bobby have a different take, or the same take as everybody else? What is your Luka to the Lakers take?
Just a really bad trade for the Mavericks. I think it just comes down to arrogance on the GM's part, and I think he can get it done. Cooper Flag is my conspiracy theory. I think somehow they end up with Cooper Flag.
How does he tie into this?
They get the frozen envelope. They tank the rest of the season.
Which team is tanking? Dallas says that this team, they're going to now win the championship because of this.
Well, good luck to them.
Yeah. I think it's actually, you can make the argument that like today they might be the same or, whatever.
Will they be the same when AD we get the when it flashes across your ticker AD to the locker room? Are they going to be the same when he's injured?
Well, it's just so strange that he's like allegedly it's like, well, we don't want Luka because he's like fat and out of shape and he gets injured and he doesn't take care of his body. Let's trade for the guy that literally is called a street clothes. Like he's 32 years old. Oh, okay, all right. The most egregious thing, we'll get to this later. The most egregious thing is not shopping around. Like, okay, if you believe that Anthony Davis is the best player available and actually makes your team better, whatever. Okay, then get a better deal. Or like let the league know, like, hey, Luka, you guys heard this guy? He's available. Give us your best offer in the next 48 hours. And I promise you that they would have got a better offer. I want like Tatum. Would Boston have traded Tatum for him? I don't know. Maybe
I would have traded Tatum for him in a heartbeat. Yeah.
You guys don't respect him. You're ridiculous.
No, Why should we? What has he done?
Because he's a champion for starters and like one of the 10 best players in the league.
He was carried by his other players. He wasn't good in that playoffs. He wasn't good was he good in the finals, really?
I don't remember. I'm sure he was fine. How did they get there? Because of him.
They got there because it's a team game and they have the 5 best players on the same team.
And like the one that
league, but
what's that?
Altogether, they were probably, I don't know, Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Tatum.
Wasn't Porzingis hurt in the finals?
Porzingis was hurt in the finals, yeah.
Yeah.
Did Tatum win that finals MVP?
No, Jaylen did. Jaylen's the better player.
Because Tatum sucks.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Boston try to trade Jaylen Brown for Anthony Davis like 4 years ago? Wasn't that supposedly a thing that almost happened?
Siege said he would never deal Tatum for Davis.
That's how I remember. Is that the GM of Boston? Did I miss something?
He should. He should be. He should be the GM of Dallas because I'm sure he wouldn't have traded Luka Doncic for AD in a pick. And
there's more dominoes to fall, I imagine. With the whole, I mean, the Lakers are not. They're going to get a center, if maybe like a Capella. Or,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would a 10-year-old have made that trade? Like just a 10-year-old, just get some random 10-year-old.
I don't know. I mean, if you're playing like 2K or something like that, yeah. I mean, I think you definitely make that trade. I mean, and then you get.
I don't think they do.
What's that?
I don't think they do.
Oh, really?
9 out of 10 wouldn't make that.
Wait, you're saying which side, Lakers or Dallas?
Just trading Luka Doncic in general.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you were saying
if a 10-year-old was the GM of the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh no, a 10-year-old would not have done that. Yeah. No. Somebody was saying that like that trade was rejected, like in 2K or one of the games. The game's like, no, you can't do that. That's too ridiculous. I didn't actually work it out, but somebody was mentioning that apparently it was rejected on one of the game systems. But the one that nobody talked about was I thought it'd be interesting. Again, if you're knocking on doors and like if you're selling a car, if you're selling a house, do you take the one offer from the one person, or do you let 29 people show up and say, hey, I'll give you an offer? But like Evan Mobley, I thought would be the really interesting one because he's kind of a younger version of Anthony Davis, like a 9-year younger version. And he's not as good right now, but he could be. And like, again, you get length. Like Davis is good for how many more years? 2-3 years, maybe. But nobody mentioned that. I didn't see anybody talk about that. No, I mean, would Cleveland say yes to that? They've been awesome this year. I just wonder if they would, because that would make them better this year, I think. But long term, probably not. Yeah.
I think they would probably say yes to it.
Cleveland would.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So our guy Broccoli Boy in chat says Cleveland would not trade Mobley. So there, right away, you and Broccoli Boy are in disagreement.
I mean, if you have the chance to get Luka, you just get you get Luka.
You just get Luka. Yeah. He was the. I like to read the Bill Simmons column, like the trade value column he had. He just released like a week ago or so, and he had Luka as the 4th best asset in the league. Davis was like 9th or 10th for what it's worth. Obviously, Davis is not bad, but
who was 1 or 2?
One's Wemby. Yeah, Wemby is just untradeable. Yeah, Wemby, Joker, SGA. Yeah. I'll send you the link. It's an interesting article. All right. Oh, it is a movie Monday. Yes, our guy Broccoli Boys surrounding us in chat. It is a movie Monday. Bobby, I know you could not contain your excitement pre-show. We can just go ahead and drop that first clue for the people. You guys know what it is. Go to the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Tell me what movie I am talking about. Be the first person to tell me, and you get yourself. Well, you tell me in the Discord. Don't tell me in the YouTube. And if you guys are on YouTube, hey, hit that like button and subscribe. And turn those notifications. Do all those things. You get your reps in YouTube, but even if you get it correctly, it's not official. It's not locked in. I'm not going to keep.
I have a guess since I'm not going to be right, but I'm going to guess anyways.
Can you guess in the private chat, just in the off chance? You happen to land on it? That is not correct, but that's I see what you're doing there. I respect that guess, but that is not correct. I haven't even told Steve what the answer is. I got to let Steve know. I'll let him know just in case he sees it before I do. But Bobby, we are waiting for. Man, this slate is going to be it's going to be wild. It's going to get wilder because 7 teams of the 20 either on the front end or the back end of a back-to-back. On the back end of a back-to-back, it's the Pistons, the Grizzlies, the Bucks, namely the Bucks because they're in OKC, back half of a back-to-back in Oklahoma, facing the best team in basketball, arguably. I know Milwaukee's supposed to be good, but they just essentially are punching this game. They're resting Giannis. They're resting Middleton. And then they give questionable tags to Dame Lillard and Brook Lopez, which that doesn't make any sense to me. That feels like a half measures. 8 o'clock game. We're currently projecting him in because what are you going to do? But I think there's a better than 50% chance both those guys get ruled out. OKC also they retorted by saying, "Well, you're gonna sit some guys. We're gonna sit some guys as well. Okay, so Wallace is out, Caruso's out, and the good Jalen Williams is also out as well. So." Yeah, I feel bad for the poor sap, that the poor schmuck who circled that game and said, "Oh my God, it's going to be incredible." Bucks Thunder. This is going to be a finals preview. They bought these tickets 3 months ago, and look what they're going to get.
This is also why the league is failing in terms of ratings, right?
I mean, this is a really bad situation. This is much worse than, oh my God, they're shooting too many threes. Like that's a nonsense thing. But this is bad. But it is what it is. And they're not going to knock it down to like 72 games. It's never going to happen. Money, money, money. But we're watching that. Ja is questionable. Bane's already ruled out. Fox not arrived just yet in San Antonio. He's not going to play. There's just a lot of moving pieces. And we have the money for Joker. Like Joker's playing, and we have the money for Joker because there's a lot of salary savers that are out there, probably more that are coming. Charlotte most likely is going to be without Micic, which should make it even thinner, and they're facing Washington. We'll get to that game. It's a 7:00 game. Atlanta is sitting. I don't know if they're injured or sitting guys out, but like Bogdanovich is almost definitely going to get traded, and Capella almost definitely going to get traded as well for Atlanta. I think the trade deadline's on Thursday, I want to say. But big picture-wise, anything you want to say as far as the slate before we fully dive in?
Yeah, obviously the Dame news is important. I don't really love the slate because you basically take out Giannis and then it makes Jokic like pretty much the obvious play to get up to. We're going to have a lot of value because of the Aaron Fox trade, possibly Lillard sitting. So it should be an interesting slate. Is that news? Do we have news?
Yeah, so Dame is out. Like, that's the chat is saying. Well, do I have to hit refresh? Did I miss this? Is that official?
I figured Dame was sitting.
Oh, 45 minutes ago. I missed that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that one stuck up on me. So it was weird because they gave it. They ruled out the Milwaukee guys, the 2 stars, or I guess Middleton and Giannis, and then they said 10 minutes later Dame is questionable. So just some silliness going on with the Milwaukee. And is Lopez out? Lopez has to be out too, right? Or is he still just sitting there questionable? Because
there's no news on Lopez currently.
Oh, come on. What are we doing? Like, they're not going to play Lopez. Like, why? I mean, okay. I guess he's still questionable. Thank you, TJ, in the chat. Let me know that Dame is out. The chat's giving me the business. Yeah, we're spinning plates here. We're doing different things. But my apologies. I did miss that. Usually on top of that. But
TJ coming for your job once again.
Well, he was being polite. He was helping me out. You're saying that wasn't actually being polite. He was being passive aggressive.
A little bit.
I did see Daniel Tice is out. He's got a thumb. Jordan Hawkins is back from his illness for what it's worth for New Orleans. But we got to get a move on here, Bobby. I think our projections have changed. Yeah, okay. We're going to give a refresh on projections that includes the Milwaukee stuff. Are we still projecting Lopez in? How silly. What are they doing? I can't imagine. Like, why in the world would they play 39-year-old Brook Lopez? And they're 16-point dogs here on a back half of a back-to-back when everybody else was ruled out. And they gave him a fake injury. I guess questionable. Whatever. Maybe they're just trying not to get fined. Like, they're just trying to pace these out, but they're just making it super obvious. And the NBA is not finding anybody anyway. Except for Atlanta when they actually ruled out, like, Trae Young when he was actually hurt. But that's neither here nor there. Big picture, Bobby, you got anything for me before we dive in? We'll figure it out as we go.
I already said my piece, Dean.
All right. I'm giving a refresh. I want to see what's popping now. I assume we're going to get some bucks that, like, nobody's ever heard of unless you follow their G League. Yeah. I was looking at Tyler Smith. I was like, is this Tyler Smith guy going to be interesting? Maybe he will. We shall see. Very first game. It's Atlanta, Detroit. 237.5 is the total. It's a big boy total, and it's fairly tight. Detroit, Bobby, they're just a 4-point favorite. Who's in and who's out for Atlanta? We just talked about Bogdanovich being out, Capella being out, Jalen Johnson. Bummer. Of course, he's done for the season. Trae Young, he's been dealing with that Achilles all year as well. He is officially probable. Detroit, nothing new, nothing of note. Their stuff has not changed forever. It's just Jaden Ivey out, who's going to be out for indefinitely. How do we feel about the Hawks and the Pistons? Cade Cunningham, awesome this year. I think he's one of the potential most improved guys, however they determine that. I'm pretty sure he's one of the top guys, according to Vegas. But I think Jalen Johnson might have been as well until, this season got cut short. But how do we feel about Atlanta and Detroit?
Yeah, in terms of the total, like, this is one of the higher totals in the slate. Cade probably is going to be my favorite tournament play. I think we had him at 12% ownership currently. I just think it's a different way to build, paying up for point guard. So getting to Cade in a spot. He is going to get Dyson Daniels' defense, but the Hawks are bottom 3 in pick and roll defense all season, which is great for Cade. Very strong spot for Cade. Jalen Duren's been on a tear. I think he had 46 DK points yesterday. I'm fine with him. On the Hawks side, like really not much for me. Would just be mainly the Detroit guys.
They did rule Trey officially in for what it's worth. I'm giving a refresh as far as our ownership stuff. But again, this stuff is always fluid. It's ever changing. And with all the news flow coming in, it might not be like, perfectly accurate. But let's see. Where do we have as far as ownership in this game? I think the Cade play is really interesting as well. We got him at 16%. And I'm trying to compare him versus the other point guards on this slate. I like Jamal Murray a good bit. Ryan Rollins is going to be the one to be super popular. Assuming he starts here for Milwaukee, we got him for 28 minutes and about a fantasy point minute guy, and he's basically the floor. So he's looking like, somebody you're going to spend down on. So you're talking about spending up as a way to be different. I don't disagree with that thought process. SGA is an interesting little conundrum because the matchup is awesome, playing against whatever's left of Milwaukee, but how long will he get to smash is the other part of that question. But he's got there before in just 3 quarters. He's got a similar ownership as of right now, a little bit more money. But I'm kind of with you, Bobby. The rest of this game, it's weird. I feel like I should be more interested because, it's a high number and it's fairly tight. But I'm not enthralled. I don't love it. I don't make a lot of lineups. I like the Thief, the Great Barrier Thief, Dyson Daniels. And it's also first game of the night, 7 o'clock. There's still some more stuff kind of coming in, most likely, that we're not even aware of necessarily. You could always say, there could be some trade stuff, which it usually doesn't happen, but it can. This is the week. The closer we get to Thursday, the closer we get to the actual deadline, the more likely that stuff is to happen. But I don't really like this game. But if you got nothing else here, we can move on here, Bobby.
Yeah, nothing on the Atlanta side. Just Cade and Jalen Duren for me on the Detroit side. I guess if you're playing 150, you can throw in Beasley. Maybe you can play some Tobias Harris, but not much.
Yeah. I was thinking about Okongwu and Duren, but, centers, they're both fine, but, I guess they're in the pool too. Are they in your pool for 150, the 2 centers?
Okongwu is, I should have said Okongwu. He'd be the only, I guess, DeAndre Hunter too, but that's it.
So Washington and Charlotte's Tankathon. The Wizards did accidentally win a game. They beat Minnesota. They're on a 1-game winning streak. Minnesota was hurting, but they beat them maybe 10 or so or something like that. The Hornets, again, they probably don't want to win this game, but they're going up against the best. They're going up against the Wizards, so you kind of sort of you can't help it. You're probably gonna win this one. They are 6-point favorites despite missing LaMelo, Mann, Cody Martin, Brandon Miller done for the year. Kogie's out as well. Saloon was called up, but he's also doubtful because he's ill. I think there's a really, really good chance, Bobby, that we lose Micic. He didn't close that last game because of an injury. It looked kind of severe. So I think that's a highly questionable in him, which to me, I guess I don't know how well you know him. If you know him well enough, you can call him Kenneth by his formal name, but I just, most people call him KJ. I think KJ Simpson could be interesting. Assuming Micic does not play. That's not the way it's projected right now, but again, Micic to me feels pretty dicey. We'll know because it's a 7 o'clock game. If we don't know, Crunch Time is going to know. And then Mark Williams, but I should stress Mark Williams, if you're playing on the Yahoo, he's like $23 over there, which is very, very good. You play him on Yahoo. You can play him in DraftKings and FanDuel as well, but you definitely play him on Yahoo. Price does not match up. Oh, we got a midday downgrade for Jordan Poole, Bobby. I know you're dying to play some Jordan Poole today. Midday downgrade, which to me suggests probably not playing. I don't know. Sarr is still out, so Joe Bell should still be doing his thing. He's also none of those guys that are theoretically on the block. I don't know what happens if Jordan Poole doesn't play. I don't know if we care. Does Brogdon get some run? Does he get enough run? He's another guy that probably they can dump off if they can, or if there's any market for him. I don't know what it is. There was a better market a year ago, probably, but yeah. Wizards, Hornets. This is an ugly one, Bobby.
Yeah, this would be the 2 center game that I would have interest in. Mark Williams and Joe Val going basically kind of both pushing the minutes. Nick Richards was traded, and Mark Williams has been averaging 44 DK points without Richards, going up against obviously Washington rim protection, which hasn't been great all year. So I like Mark Williams. And then Joe Val, who we've been trying to play and trying to make work at this price tag. I think you can consider him versus Williams, who hasn't been playing much defense. So those would be the two main plays. In terms of the pool stuff, I just would rather default to anything else like later, with the Lillard news and stuff like that. That would pretty much be the way I'm attacking this game. I don't know, like Kuzma at 14%, he could be in your pool in 150 on the Washington side. In terms of Charlotte, I don't know, Miles Bridges I think is a fairly good play. He stands out in the defense versus archetype tool, so I don't mind him. His price, he is at 9K though.
He's 9K, but yeah, if we get 34 minutes out of him, I think he's pretty interesting. Yeah, they're asking about him in chat. By the way, chat was asking about Ricochet. He did see his minutes go about up to 29 minutes last time. I think we're projecting for 26, but I think he's playable. He's playable. Just kind of go back there for Atlanta for a second. Probably should have acknowledged his existence. If you did, my apologies. I missed it. How do you feel about this Mitchich situation? Assuming Mitchich doesn't go, how interested are we in KJ Simpson? And I think KJ Simpson on FanDuel is like 4-1. He's 4-4 on DK, but I think he's like 4-1 on FanDuel, which is a really, really good price. If the news flow goes the way of Mitchich going bye-bye. Is he somebody you're considering? I want to see if he
would definitely jump. I think he would make more sense on FanDuel. He would jump for me, but I think it would be more of a FanDuel play specifically. What are we gonna in that situation? What's he gonna get for minutes? Is he gonna get 28?
I think he would get 30. I mean, I don't do the projections. That's not my job. Somebody does a better job of that than I would. But he's currently projected for 24. A little bit of overlap with Mitchich for 29 minutes. And if Mitchich goes, I guess he's playable. But, this Hornets team stinks. A lot of these players stink, right? But the Wizards, they are fantasy deodorant. This is the fantasy deodorant. And no matter how much you stink, they will freshen you up. Diabate with Williams, unnecessary. His price is up a little bit higher. But, yeah, we did see Williams, I think, a little bit overlap last game. We are projecting a little bit tonight as well, like a minute or two. So wouldn't really do that again, and his price is up higher. But I love playing guys against Washington. It's just I don't love playing Hornets, but they are super thin.
If he's getting 30 minutes, I think he's definitely going to jump significantly. Do you think they grade out better than the Milwaukee guys?
You're talking about who now with 30 minutes?
Simpson. I don't know whoever the
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Was.
So he's projecting for 24 right now, and my guess is my guess is he would jump to like 30, 31, somewhere around there. And I think he would project better than anybody in Milwaukee with the possible exception of Rollins. So I think Rollins and Simpson would be the guys that I would be interested in. Those are like 1 and 1A as far as the cheapies in the slate. And then there's not Caldo, dude for New Orleans. God, why am I forgetting his name? Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado, who was looking really, really good earlier in the day, and he's still playable. Obviously, Murray's done for the season. Huge bummer for him. But now I think he's going to fall back a little bit with these cheap point guards, which all kind of points to what you said earlier, Bobby. Spending up a point guard might be a contrarian move because there's some really interesting cheapies.
Yeah. I'm still for spending up at point guard. I don't think I think I'd rather play Rollins at 3-1 than Simpson.
What about both?
Yeah, you could play both. I probably wouldn't play much AJ Green in that scenario. And then Alvarado, I feel like he would end up being a better play than Alvarado at that point.
I think so as well.
At 4.8, Alvarado's at 4.8. He's at 4.5. So
yeah, I mean Alvarado will become like the ownership pivot. I think.
Yeah.
All right, I'm jumping over to the Discord. I wanted to see if anybody actually guessed my movie correctly. I don't think they did. They did not. Okay. Second clue for the people is let me see. Actually, I'm sorry. No. Okay. I saw somebody give a thumb up, or there's different thumbs going on. I thought it was producer Steve, but no. Oh, and once again, for the 77th consecutive time, it is not Leprechaun in the Hood.
Can you check my guess?
Bobby, you can't MME. You can only guess one time. You can't guess twice. Once per clue drop.
Did I get it on that one though?
No, but I appreciate. You could use that for your second guess, and the answer is no.
All right.
Direct is the second clue. Direct. Shadow and direct.
These clues are never direct.
Misdirect. It might as well be the clue, right?
Yeah, misdirect.
We're moving on. Yes?
Yeah, we're moving on, Dean. We're moving on.
Okay, Bobby. There's only one game at 7:30. It's the Rockets in New York. 224 is the total. New York is about a 7-point favorite here. Josh Hart, I think, is still questionable. He's always questionable. He always plays, and he always smashes. OJ Anunoby is out for a bit, though. He's got that foot. No OG. We're projecting Precious to draw the start for what it's worth. Bridges, Brunson, Hart, Precious Achua, and Cat taking on Amen at the point. I guess point 1 and 1A with Jalen Green, Brooks Green. That's Jeff Green, Alperen Şengün. However, Jock Landale is officially doubtful. Of course, Jabari Smith is out, and FVV. Freddie Van Vliet is out, which is again why more ball handling duty for Amen, for Jalen Green. Just expected a pretty tight rotation here, probably for both these teams as far as their core, their core 4 or 5. Don't know if Şengün's going to play. I don't have a good read on it. He's missed the last couple games. If he doesn't go, I guess we'll see a little bit more Tari Eason, a little bit more Steven Adams. Yeah, I don't know if anybody really individually jumps up. Cam Whitmore, if they go smaller, probably gets a few more minutes. But your read of Houston and New York.
Yeah, your favorite player, Dean's in this game. Your favorite player. Amen Thompson.
That's who Dallas should have traded Luka for. Amen. Make a package for Amen.
Yeah, go get Amen. Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the more competitive games on the slate. I like Karl Anthony Towns at 9.6. I think he's in a very good spot. We know he's going to see all the minutes that he possibly could with Tibbs, so I'm fine with that. We're only seeing 8% ownership on him too, so in tournaments, I think that's an interesting tournament play. Amen Thompson, I'm with you, Dean. I watched him the other night. He's fantastic. He does everything on both sides of the court, plays great defense.
His defense is awesome.
Stock should be there. I'm fine with Amen. You can make a case for literally any of these guys because they're going to play so many minutes. Jalen Brunson at 8.6, if you want to go the route of paying up at point guard. He's only showing 8% ownership as well. And Josh Hart at 7.7. I don't like playing Josh Hart a ton, but I probably should play him more.
You should.
Yeah.
Does everything.
He does everything. That would be the main 4 for me.
I am kind of surprised how low owned this game is currently projected. Again, this stuff could change, but nobody right now is at double digits on DK. Cat is pushing it close to 10%. Brunson at 8. Jalen Green with no FEV is at 3%. Amen's at like 3%. Like both those guys projected. Green 34 minutes, 38 for Amen. By Hart 38 minutes. Those guys are going to match each other minutes wise. Possibly push the 40s because that's how this goes down. This is the front end of a back-to-back for both these teams for what it's worth, so it does like get goofy.
Tibbs doesn't care.
I don't think so.
Tibbs doesn't care.
Rockets, New York, Pacers, Blazers. Those are the 4 teams on the front end of a back-to-back. If this game's going to be kind of ignored, which that's where we're at right now, nobody really popping. I guess it will change if Şengün is out, and I think we have an if then. We should have an if then. I know we have some set up. Yeah, okay. We have if Şengün is out, Steven Adams would look pretty good. The 26 minutes, assuming he starts. Is he like he did get some runs, so he's probably no longer like 3K. Is he like 4K now? How much is Steven Adams?
He's 4.3K, yeah.
Yeah. I liked him more when he was 3K.
I liked him more when he was 3K too, and he came out the gate with 9 quick.
Amen at the Ahmed projects pretty well. Jalen Green. Those guys would all be in the green. Like Tari Eason would get 29 minutes, which is a fine play.
Yeah, I would like Tari a little bit then.
Yeah, and Whitmore 21. Again, that's like a 150. If you're running 150, you probably would have Whitmore in there if Şengün's out. Yeah. But otherwise, he's less than 4K. Anything else of note here? Just kind of generally surprising that game is so low owned.
This game and the Atlanta game are two games that I'd definitely be interested in tournaments in terms of targeting.
This is kind of a bummer. I don't like this news. Aaron Gordon now questionable injury management. I thought he was the worst chalky piece in the slate. Like he's definitely. You said you've been watching Amen. I don't know how much Aaron Gordon you've been watching of late.
My buddy was saying to me he's the worst player in the league since the injury. You take away his athleticism, and he's terrible.
He's been terrible. And the thing is, like projections, it's hard for projections to capture that, right? And he projects really, really well. Ah, man. And like I thought he was just terrible chalk. I thought he was terrible chalk. And
so I was taking the other approach. He had busted two previous nights as on Friday. He busted. I was on Crunch Time, and he was like 100%. It was like the only call I got right on Crunch Time.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I was going to be over the field on him tonight.
Wait, your buddy told you he's the worst player in basketball, and you're like, hey, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play. I'm going to hit the lock button. Does that mean you don't respect your buddy's opinion?
No, I do. It's just a matter of everyone's. You get there's flop lag coming, Dean. Flop lag's coming.
I in general, I like that, but I don't know if he's capable right now, and he's like the fifth option on that team.
Yeah.
Embiid, by the way, get excited. Embiid upgraded to questionable tomorrow. He's
just quiet quitting Embiid. That's what this is.
Oh man, it's a good thing he's not signed for the next like 4 years for $201.
Yeah.
Tough scene for Philly. Although they got a good football team, I hear, so it all balances out.
Till they lose on Sunday.
Is that happening? Is that for sure?
You're not. The Chiefs are winning that game.
Are you going to give me like the NFL?
Nick Sirianni? Come on.
I thought you were going to give me like the tinfoil. Well, the NFL.
No, I don't believe in that.
A lot of people do.
No, I guess there is some like it's definitely getting weird to a point. Like it's weird, but I think it's just overblown because everyone's just looking for it now. Like you can find anything.
Yes.
My brother's next to me. He's like the biggest tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist in this situation. He hates the Chiefs and probably rolling his eyes.
What is his hottest? Let's keep it to sports. What is his hottest sports like conspiracy theory that he believes is 100%?
This one, the Chiefs one. He thinks that the NFL is helping Mahomes.
Yeah, because otherwise I wouldn't even watch the Super Bowl if Buffalo made it. Like, what's the point, right? But like Taylor Swift's going to be there. I'm going to watch now.
He said they got 5 downs versus the Bengals. I don't even know what he's talking about. AFC Championship like 3 years ago or something.
That happened once in college many years ago, and I can't remember which team they scored on 5th down. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Sacramento and Minnesota. 221 is a total. Minnesota is a 5-point dog. Of course, Fox is out. Levine's in, but not yet. So, they're going to be a little bit thin. We're expecting Keon Ellis to draw a start. Monk's going to be their point. Monk, Ellis, Double D, DeMar DeRozan, Murray, Sabonis taking on Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Reed, Gobert. That is the projected lineup. Of course, I think they were both at shoot-around. Dante DiVincenzo is out. Anthony Edwards is ill. At least he was ill, but expectations are he'll be back. And Nas had that finger. He didn't finish his last game. He was like insane chalk, like 80%, whatever it was. And he left the game in the third quarter, did not come back. And then Julius Randle is out too. So Minnesota is really thin here. How do we feel about the T-Wolves and the Kings?
Yeah, so DeMar DeRozan we're showing for 22% ownership, obviously with the Fox news. I think he's my least favorite of these Kings. Like I'd much rather get to Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, definitely Sabonis if I can find the cash, which I feel like I can on the slate with the value that's there. Malik Monk. I think these guys are all better plays at lower ownership. Well, DeMar's probably the better play, but I just think there's more paths for DeMar to fail. He doesn't really fit DK scoring great. He's not going to shoot the three. I know he's really at 6'3", like it's a great price tag for DeMar, but
at what point? When was the last time you needed DeMar DeRozan? Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like when was the last time I was like, oh, I really need DeMar DeRozan in my lineup tonight? And it's been a long, long time, I would say, if ever. Sabonis really strong without De'Aaron Fox in the lineup. Tough matchup though versus Gobert, but are we really worried? When Fox has been out, he's seeing 1.5 fantasy points per minute. Like, I just want to get to Sabonis before he's above 10K in this scenario. So I think Sabonis is a super strong play. Keon Ellis, I think he's probably my favorite cheapie. Not the greatest matchup, but he is 3.5. Things might have changed now with Milwaukee stuff and Rollins and all that other stuff, but definitely in this game, he's my favorite.
31 minutes, they'll get it his way right now, assuming he starts. That's a pretty 3.5 shooting guard only. Yeah, I like that call as well. Kind of make stuff work.
Yeah, it's easier to make stuff work, and yeah, I'm fine with Ellis. Keegan and Monk. Monk's been good. I think there should be more paths for him to have ceiling games with Fox out of the way now. So I'm interested in Monk. When Fox is out, he's been super strong, 1.14 fantasy points per minute. So I'm fine with Monk too.
Yeah, gets a bump for assist. I like the call as well. And, the minutes there, 36 is the projection. There's a path to him playing like 38, 39 if his game is close, right? You mentioned Sabonis, less than 10% ownership right now. It's just, if you're going to spend it all the way up, you're probably going to go to Joker first, a little bit more, find the money. But I don't mind that call either. He's another guy that would benefit in the absence of Fox. Again, there's you can only roster so many players, only so many roster spots, and there's so many good plays that you're going to see. How people take that victory lap and like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys let so-and-so be like 7%. Like, that's just how it is, because that's how math works. There's more than 8 good plays. So you're gonna see that for sure. And I think it's an awesome tournament night for that reason. Anything else here as far as your favorite player in Minnesota? I know your favorite T-Wub is who?
Probably Edwards.
We got him at 12% as well. Nas is up to 6K. It's a shooting hand too. You never really know like how much that's going to hurt his finger. If that's going to affect whatever injury he has. Assuming he goes, he's actually officially questionable. Just
Nas might be the play that you're supposed to really get overweight on tonight.
This is as high as he's ever been, I think, at 6K. Right? Has he ever been that high before? But like, he's not going to be played. He's going to be like 1%.
He's not going to be played. He busted his chalk the other night. Freak injury. Like, I feel like he's the flop lag play, and you just embrace the price tag.
All right, let's go ahead and drop the third clue. I see
Randall's off the court too, right? So
yeah. So we're expecting him to start. So he's better positioned, and like he was supposed to smash last time out, and that was against Washington. And all the injuries and the elevation to the starting lineup. I know a little less usage playing alongside the starters, more minutes, but it was very surprising how bad he was. And then again, he hurt his finger too, which certainly just completely blew up the chalk piece. But I don't mind him as in a rebound spot. I think my favorite play on Sacramento is Monk, but I do like Ellis as that cheapie as well. Let's see. Discord channel. We have Bad Boys 2 was guessed. Psycho was guessed by Thomas the Great. Let's see if the third clue is going to get people there. It just might. The third clue is repeat. Repeat is our third clue. So
Dean with these bad clues.
We'll see. I think we're going to get there.
Clockwork every Monday.
I think we're going to get there. We'll see. You're multitasking. You can't spend all your energy, all your brain power on trying to figure it out because you got to give some analysis on the show. Milwaukee, I guess we don't have any news as far as Brook Lopez. He's got to get ruled out, right? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're being silly. Milwaukee is taking on the Thunder. 225.5 is the total. Oklahoma is the best team in basketball, and they're at home versus the Bucks, and the Bucks are in the back half of a back-to-back, and they're resting Giannis. They're resting Lillard. They are resting Middleton. Portis, I think Portis is officially doubtful, I want to say. Is he officially out now? I mean, we're not projecting him in, but he's officially doubtful for personal reasons. Yeah. As far as the Thunder, they ruled out Caruso. Chet Holmgren, of course, is still out. Kason Wallace and the good Jalen Williams. So we're expecting SGA, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, who dropped 40 in the bucket last time out. Lou Dort, Hartenstein. They're kind of thin, the Thunder. Like they have 11 dudes, right? They got 11, and amongst the 11 is a person named Adam Flagler, a person named Alex Dukas, a person named Dylan Jones, and Usman Deng. Like they're really thin. But we haven't seen them this thin. And I was just trying to figure out like who would play garbage nonsense because Wiggins is going to project well, Joe's going to project all right, but maybe Kenrich Williams could be like the sneaky if this game blows out, but he's still going to play. One of Jalen Williams, the bad Jalen Williams, and Kenrich Williams will mop up when this game gets ugly. We are expecting for Milwaukee Ryan Rollins to start and run the point, and he's projecting incredibly. And then you have like their wings of Green and Jackson and Prince, who are all kind of fringy. Trent, and then Brook Lopez is still starting allegedly. Oh, Doc Rivers, you got us, Doc. Right now, the Thunder are in the locker room game planning. How do we stop Brook Lopez? How do we do it? And they're just wasting their time. That's how savvy Doc is. Yeah, talking about this game. I guess we can't ignore it, right? There's too much potential cheapies here.
Yeah, I can't ignore it. Ryan Rollins, AJ Green, going to be very chalky at 3.1 and 3.3K respectively. I think Hartenstein is going to be someone people are going to play. You have him for 30 minutes. Gary Trent Jr. sees a pretty good usage bump, I think, with all these guys out. Let me pull it up. I just had it. No, I don't have it. Yeah. Who else? Aaron Wiggins on the other side. Like, I'm perfectly fine going back to Aaron Wiggins at 5'3". I don't love it, but
it feels a little chasey, and he's also never been that expensive, but he projects well. He projects very well.
My worry paying up for SGA at 11K is this game just doesn't stay close at all.
But what if it does? Then he's awesome.
Yeah. But it's just then
you could run like two and two. Right?
I still think I'd rather like getting to a guy like Cade or playing Amin Thompson at point guard.
I'm gonna have like one route with like if I play SGA, I'll probably play two guys on Milwaukee and possibly two players in the Thunder, like a 2-2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like if I play SGA, I'm saying I'm going to carry at least $1 along with them, but I'm probably going to play $1 no matter what, with or without SGA, just because of how depleted they are. I'm thinking about just hitting the lock button on Rollins at 3-1. Is that a mistake? I don't make a lot of lineups. When I say
I'm perfectly fine with
that. We're giving him 28 minutes. About a fantasy point minute player. The matchup, of course, is not great against the Thunder.
What about this Tyler Smith fellow?
It's funny you ask. I was looking at his G League stuff today because I thought, it might be something that would be worth looking at. He projects okay.
Yeah, he projects all right. It's just a matter of.
Is he not in the player pool here on the lineup HQ? Am I missing him?
No, I was just looking at DFN projections. He might.
Is he not? I don't think he's. Oh wait, yeah. Hold on a second. I don't think he's in lineup HQ, which seems strange. Yeah, he's a power forward 3K on DK. He's in the pool. He's played a little bit, cup of coffee here and there, jumping back and forth, but I don't know why he wouldn't be projected to play a minute. That's strange.
I liked your Kenrich call because we know he would be like. I feel like he'd be the most reliable on the OKC side if it did blow out.
By the way, the clues were so terrible that we got a winner. We got a winner in the Discord channel. And a lot of people were all around it. They were dancing all around it. And we'll talk about it. We'll get there. But, we'll talk about it shortly. I'm confused by why Tyler Smith would be not.
Maybe we just haven't added him to the pool yet, Dean.
Or maybe he's just not projected to play. I'm not sure. Milwaukee still has. It's worth noting, right? They still have, assuming Lopez is in, which I don't think he will play, but 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have 12 guys.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of bodies. It's just all nonsense. And the thing is, what if they all play, not all, but the majority play 27 minutes, right? Like they pull like a Golden State Warriors thing, which may happen. Rollins, Green, Jackson, Prince, Lopez. That's our current projected starting lineup with Trent, Connaughton, Beauchamp, Chris Livingston, AJ Johnson, DeLon Wright, and Tyler Smith. So I will say if Lopez doesn't go, I think maybe I don't know if Tyler Smith would start. Like who would be their center? Because they don't have anybody big left. He would be their de facto big, right? How tall?
It would make that's what I was thinking.
How tall is this Tyler Smith character? 6'9", probably will be their tallest player. And by the way, just as a side note,
is he related to Taylor Smith or Taylor Smith?
I don't know. Maybe Hartenstein we talk about SGA, but Hartenstein probably destroys, assuming Lopez is out. We don't know. But assuming Lopez is out, doesn't Hartenstein annihilate anybody on the other side as far as anything underneath? It's going to be all his, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just sort of thinking about it, who else do they have that's big? No Giannis, no Portis. They're going to be in trouble. And I think Hartenstein's a really interesting play for that reason. Do you want to give me the rankings for Wiggins, Dort, Joe, the wings for the Thunder? How do you have those guys ranked?
Wings for the Thunder. Probably go Wiggins, Joe, Dort, Kenrich.
Johnny Johnson says that Gary Trent should eat. He'll get projected about 28 minutes or so, and he's got to make his threes. And if he makes them, he's good. If he doesn't, he's bad. And that's that. But that's the same thing. That's the same
may
thing.
Not blow out, huh? I think you might be right that this game doesn't blow out.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this. This Tyler Smith guy could be an interesting piece if you lose Lopez. His numbers are pretty good in the G League for what it's worth. I don't know anything about him. I don't know when he was drafted. Couldn't tell you. Just heard of this guy today. But I was actually investigating in it because I was trying to figure out the scenario. What happens if Lopez is out? We have 3 more games on the DK slates. Of course, FanDuel, Phoenix, Portland, Orlando, Golden State. If we don't touch on that, you guys know crunch time will. They're going to get their fair plays position by position. Point guards working their way all the way up to centers. Also site by site, FanDuel and DraftKings. I will drop the 4th clue just for fun for today's Movie Monday. But we do have an official winner, which we'll discuss in a second. Advantage is the 4th clue, Bobby. Advantage. So shadow, direct, repeat, advantage. That is our 4 clues for today's Movie Monday. I'll tell you, it's kind of an action sci-fi. There's a little bonus clue for you. Little bonus clue. Because we already know what it is. Lots of people danced around it in the chat, but we eventually got there because it's similar. They kind of stole their premise from another movie. All right. Anthony Davis trade pending. Oh, questionable for Tuesday. Okay. I thought they're going to hold the trade up when I saw this
trade pending. Yeah.
Anything else we got as far as Milwaukee OKC, or shall we talk about another really interesting game, which doesn't have a lot of clarity, as they all don't seem to at this point? San Antonio and Memphis.
Let's get into San Antonio and Memphis.
Yeah. All right. San Antonio and Memphis, 240. That's what they call a big boy total, Bobby. 240, and it's high and tight because Memphis is just a 2.5-point favorite. This, despite the fact that we have some crucial players that have been ruled out, some crucial players that are currently questionable, namely John Morant. John Morant's questionable. He seems to be highly questionable with his shoulder. Marcus Smart is officially doubtful. Desmond Bane, which is a really big one. Bane being out is a big deal. Zach Edey is available. Brandon Clark is also questionable. Probably opens up some, not that you're playing Jay Huff, maybe an extra minutes for Edey or something like that. As far as San Antonio, they are clean with the exception of Victor Wembanyama. He had that illness. He's still officially questionable, but I assume he's fine now, but we have not got official word. It's been a couple days since he was kind of a late scratch. Get the newest injury report in the last hour. Let's see if that's changed. Yeah, he's still questionable, but I'm working under the assumption that he is in. They did trade away Trey Jones and not Charles Bassey, but the other center that's not as good. He's gone. Doesn't matter. Of course, they have Fox coming in, but he's not there just yet. And typically, you think, well, there'd be some opening here because they had to trade somebody away for Fox, but nobody important left. So it's going to be Paul, Castle, Vassell, Harry Barnes, Wemby. That's our projected starting five. For Memphis, we are projecting Ja, Kennard, Wells, Triple J, and Edey. If Ja doesn't go, I think Scottie Pippen would jump in the starting lineup alongside Kennard, although we have seen Kennard, play some point as well. What are we going to do now? The best we can do at this point, Bobby, San Antonio, Memphis, what do you got for me?
Yeah, Jaren Jackson should see all the usage on the Memphis side. Really like him. Scottie Pippen and Kennard, both with Moran out, should see a boost as well. So those are the three on the Memphis side that I think probably the most I'm interested in. Maybe some Santi Aldama in 150. In terms of San Antonio, Chris Paul, Devin Vassell, Charles Bassey are the ones that seeing the biggest usage bumps. Stephen Castle's been pretty good as well. So probably my favorite play on the San Antonio side would be Vassell. Memphis is going to funnel to the 3 points. So like him a good bit. I think Castle's kind of sneaky too, personally. That's pretty much it for me. I don't have any really standout plays that I like. Obviously the total's high and stuff like that. I think Jaren Jackson and Vassell are probably my two favorite plays from this game.
Yeah, so Jackson is projecting to get 22% ownership currently on DK, and that would get even better if we happen to lose Ja. I think I'm going to give him an artificial bump and just kind of get him in more of my lineup stuff that I'm running. Because I think there's a pretty good chance Ja doesn't go. I don't know this, but that's my guess. It's 8 o'clock as far as the lock time, and who knows when we find that out. It could be 6:30. It could be sometime into the slate. Also, we have our if-then set up if we happen to lose both Ja and Clark. That's both of them. Triple J would look really, really good. His projection would get up to about 48 points of the median projection. Like I said, look even better. And then Pippen, Scottie Pippen, they're projecting he would start, I think, because they're giving him 28 minutes, and that's what makes most sense for me. And Kennard would have 32. So Pippen, Kennard, Triple J would all look really good if we happen to lose Ja. And you mentioned Aldama in play, Wells in play. Edey just hard for me to get to. But I got nothing else, and we're kind of in the holding pattern. But I think I'm going to save a spot, at least one, for Triple J. There are a lot of 8 o'clock games, so you can, when in doubt, as a tiebreaker, I like to use the backloading as a tiebreaker. Whoever's playing later, that's what I'm putting in. Sacramento, Minnesota is 8 o'clock. Milwaukee, OKC is 8 o'clock. San Antonio, Memphis is 8 o'clock as well. So, and then there's 2 games behind that, that at least one of them is really, really interesting, or at least one team is really interesting. Anything else of note here as far as San Antonio and Memphis?
No, you covered it.
Do you want to shout out Blink 182 Rue, who took down today's Movie Monday in the Discord channel. Do participate going forward by going to the RotoGrinders Discord, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Live stream chat channel does not cost you a thing, and you get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium, or you can just go ahead and buy it. You can buy it. That's cool. First month, we got a first month special, $79 and change for Combo Pro. We also have a promo for Splash. You know, if you want to get into your the big game promos, I guess we can't say the other word, can we? They're going to hit us with that. But the big game, all sorts of sides and totals and things like that, player props, go to Splash, use the promo code ROTO10. And when you play $100 in quick picks, you'll get another $50 back. Shot quality, do want to mention shot quality, some of the most advanced NBA data in the market. Get shot quality projections for Lineup HQ. You can get 1 month access for $40, or for the entire season, it's $200, or a 3-day pass, less than $10, $9 and change. Lastly, if you are in the props and pick'em market, get all your expert picks from for your favorite sites, props and pick'em. Our elite sports betting and fantasy pick'em package features bets and analysis from your favorite RG experts. Props and pick'em includes tools and data powered by our hardworking projections team. Working hard these days for sure. Do check out the links in the description. We'll drop that fifth clue for those that are still playing along. Bobby's going to get there. The fifth clue, Bobby, is future, shadow, direct, repeat, advantage, and future. That is our 5.
I did not get there. Can we get the movie, Dean? Give us the movie.
Yeah. The first clue was shadow. Shadow was the first clue. And in reference to this movie basically steals its premise. I don't know what that producer Steve's having a good time. What that GIF is on the screen. This movie kind of borrows its premise from another movie that features a famous animal that sees it. What's the animal that sees its shadow? You know, like it gets like 4 more weeks of winter, which is totally true.
Groundhog.
Yeah. Groundhogs allegedly in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Direct is the second word. Another word for direct. If somebody's being direct with you, Bobby, what are they being?
Direct.
If they are being direct, what are they being? They're being direct with you. They're being.
Stern.
I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. They're being. You could also smoke this. Blunt is the answer.
Blunt.
Yeah, and blunt is the. I've heard you can. Blunt is the name of one of the co-stars in this movie. Repeat. Again, if you watch this movie, a lot of elements of this movie repeat over and over again, and until they get it just right. Steve, having a good time. And then advantage. Advantage I thought was appropriate for like what we do, right? When you have an advantage in something in DFS, you have an advantage in your opponent. You would say you have a what?
An edge.
Okay. We're getting there. So we have edge. We have blunt, which is one of the characters. We have a Groundhog Day. Maybe you've never.
How long do you sit at your house trying to figure out these clues for this show?
This took me like 15 minutes.
Mondays. 15 minutes?
Yeah. It took me 15 minutes or so. And the last clue was future. Now,
I agree with TJ. It's just another synonyms aren't clues, Dean.
They absolutely are clues. But the other thing is future. So future is the movie kind of takes place in the near future, but also tomorrow would be the future, right? So if you put it all together, maybe you've never seen this movie before, but it's Tom Cruise. You've heard of Tom Cruise before?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, you're aware of his work. Edge of Tomorrow. Are you aware of Edge of Tomorrow?
Nope, never seen it.
Have you seen Groundhog Day?
Nope.
Oh,
I probably have. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day, but for like an alien invasion, basically. I guess that's like the elevator pitch. There you go. You asked me to explain Edge of Tomorrow, and there you go.
Great movie, Dean. Great pick.
All right.
You stumped us.
No, I didn't. I didn't stump anybody. I Blink 182 nailed it.
Good for Blink-182.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We got a winner. Okay, we have 2 games left. 2 games at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, an hour break. Pacers and Jazz. This is a weird game, Bobby. I feel like I'm making a mistake, possibly.
Our Sims, for whatever reason, like it.
Probably because this game, I think, is just sort of lost on the slate. And, of course, Utah is a great matchup. And it's 242. 242. Oh, Micic is in. Oh, did not expect that. Yeah, maybe he's playable. I'm shocked.
No KJ Simpson now.
That's a bummer. I mean, if you're running 150, I think you can still keep him in the pool. And there goes Şengün. Oh boy. Okay, so Şengün's out. We'll talk about it. We'll circle back and see what's important. Maybe they start. Did they start Adams alongside Jeff Green? Did they start and Jock Landale's out as well? They're pretty.
I think you're going to start Steven Adams.
Yeah, outside of Adams, they're really small, and I don't know how much they think they're going to need Adams for Cat. And the other part of it is, by the way, is Adams going to be chasing Cat out to the 3-point line?
No.
So is Cat just going to be nailing a bunch of threes tonight?
They could. What could they do with Tari Eason?
He's an undersized. Yeah, I guess they can play smaller.
Tari Eason would make more sense, but they're going to be.
Yeah, Eason could be interesting. Like, I don't think he's the guy that can like lock down Cat.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Jeff Green too. Who's just. I don't know how much Jeff Green has left in the tank these days.
I feel like we've been saying that for 4 years.
Yeah, this is the dude that was in the Celtics that was like in a promising career like 15 years ago, right?
Stunk. Yeah,
that's the same guy, right? Am I making this person
he
up?
had heart surgery or something. Yeah.
He's got to be like 35, right? He's 38. Good for him.
Yeah, it feels like that would be it because I feel like I was in high school or maybe freshman year of college when he came in the league.
We currently have him starting, so I wonder who we're going to project. I assume we're going to project Steven Adams and Green to start. I don't know, but again, this is why. That's a 7:30 game. Let's jump forward. We got about 10-15 minutes until crunch time comes in. They'll sort some things through as well. Got your boy Kirkwood and TastefulTides. Our boy Kirkwood and our boy
Kirkwood, yeah.
And Roth. I want a Roth rant. I'm hoping we get a Roth rant today. I feel like you might have
to rant about my performance on crunch time the other night when someone was like Google chatting me from my Discord like 3 times.
I think all he cares about is Mavericks. I think he's got a Dallas rant in him. So 242, that's a huge number, right? Indiana and Utah, a team total close to 125. That's a monster number. And Utah not like a monster, dog. They're only a 7-point home dog here. So if this game stays close, it certainly could be interesting. Miles Turner officially questionable. It's kind of a tricky thing to figure out at this point. Utah, Sexton's available. I guess all their players are available. As of right now, Utah does some weird things. They're pretty untrustworthy. Who knows who gets moved away? Clarkson possibly. Kessler maybe. Kessler would look pretty good for the Lakers. They can figure that out. But what are we doing with the Pacers and the Jazz?
I really like Miles Turner if he plays. Good spot for centers versus Utah. I think he's an interesting tournament play. Probably my favorite from Indiana, followed by Siakam. And I think you could get to some Halliburton in larger field stuff. I have zero interest in the Jazz. Maybe that's the wrong take, but the Jazz shouldn't even be an NBA team at this point. So I don't know. Who do you want to play from Utah, Dean?
I don't think I want to play anybody.
Like John Collins?
I mean, you can. He's actually projecting pretty well, but I'm not saving space for anybody in Utah. If I play anybody in Utah, it's because I backloaded and I got desperate, or I'm trying to catch up because my players that are playing early didn't do great. I'm not anticipating playing anybody in Utah. I'm with you. By the way, Tari Eason and Jayshawn Tate starting for Houston. Is Jayshawn Tate like Stone Min? How much is Jayshawn Tate? There's a 38-year-old Jeff Green still on ice.
He's 3-2, Jayshawn Tate.
Interesting.
He becomes interesting at 3-2 for sure.
Okay, that is of note. And I think also,
almost a fancy point per minute guy. What do you think he gets for minutes? 28, 29?
I would take less than 28, but I don't think he needs 28 to get there.
Yeah.
I would project him at like 26.
26.
But we'll see. We'll see what they put him at. I mean, I think it's like a 50-50 shot he closes, right? Like maybe he closes, maybe he doesn't. But I feel better about Eason, who I believe got up to like 27 minutes last time, because and he's been dealing with that leg this year. He got 27 last time out, 30 before that. So I definitely feel better about Eason.
Get over 30.
I wouldn't say definitely over 30, but I don't know if he needs over 30. I think if he gets to 30, he's fine.
1.17 fantasy points per minute. Yeah, I like Eason.
I'm curious where the projection team puts those players. The Pacers are all in like an excellent spot, right? Because again, 125 team total. Utah is one of the best defenses to pick on. You talked about like we're spending up. We talked about spending up at point guard. Halliburton's kind of lost here. We're looking at 12%. Sure, Pascal, especially if Turner doesn't go. We don't know about Turner. He's currently questionable. He would certainly benefit though if Turner happens to sit. And if Turner doesn't go, Obi Toppin is power forward center at 3.7, Brian 3.2. I don't know which one of those two would start. Typically, I'm not sure, but whichever one of those two starts, if we lose Turner, could be interesting, especially Obi, because he's power forward eligible. But again, I don't know about Turner. My guess is he plays, but I don't know. Pacers, what do you got?
Yeah, I said I like Turner the best if he plays, but Siakam, if he were to sit, I think is super strong. Halliburton, in terms of our defense versus archetypes tool, like Utah, it's a very good matchup. So in tournaments, he could be another one of those pay up to be different at point guard plays. Just the Utah side is just miserable. I have zero interest.
Are you surprised they're playing their guys? Are you surprised they're playing their dudes? Because that's not been their MO.
They're going to lose anyways. So.
Well,
they don't play.
So it's typically they play their guys. They all of a sudden get healthy against the really good teams. And like you said, it doesn't matter. They lose anyway. But I guess the Pacers are kind of like one of those gray teams where they're not horrendous, but they're not necessarily really good, which I thought maybe they would sit some guys. But like you said, or they just like monitor their minutes, Okay. By the way, we did get a projection update, but I don't think this has the Houston stuff because this is up like 10 minutes ago. But I am curious to see where those guys land. Unless, actually, hold on, it might. We got Tate for 21 minutes. I don't know if that probably doesn't include Tate. We got Adams for 20. It's a lot of hedge stuff, I think. But this might be changed with the starting lineup news. Yeah, Green at 18, which probably goes down with him not starting now. Okay. We'll give a refresh to that in a few minutes, or crunch time. We'll talk about it. Anything else we want to say as far as Indiana and Utah? Do we want to talk about Denver? Denver and the Pels. Denver looked like the best team on this slate, before everything started, because they have they're playing against the Pels. The Pels, one of the best defenses to pick on, and they're without several key pieces. I guess one key piece, Russ. No Westbrook. Westbrook's out tonight for a couple games or so. I guess it doesn't really matter. Aaron Gordon downgraded to questionable, which to me suggests probably not playing. To me, it's kind of a bummer because I wanted people to play him. And then Peyton Watson, a guy that would have benefited with Gordon being out. If Gordon's out, he is also out. So, and Denver, we know how terrible their bench is. So I think Murray and Brown and Porter and Joker are going to play a lot, at least until this game blows out. But what if it doesn't? 10-point favorites here, 242 total. Biggest total on the board for Denver, 126. We have all this value we talk about, Bobby. It's so easy to get Joker now. Do we just play Joker?
I was playing Joker since this morning. It's a great spot for a Joker versus New Orleans. 12-3 coming off 83 fantasy points, triple-double or double-double, whichever one he had. I'm pretty sure he was pretty close to the triple. I Joker's very in play for me. Aaron Gordon was the one I was going to play. Now I'm probably not playing him at 4-5. Even though I said he seems like his knee injury is kind of taken away his athleticism and really hurt him in terms of like his overall performance. Michael Porter Jr., I think, would be a beneficiary if Gordon were to sit. So like him at 5'9". Christian Braun at 5'2", shooting guard, small forward. Don't hate that. My favorite play on the New Orleans side is probably Jose Alvarado. He's just seen a ton of usage with DeJounte Murray season being over. So fine with Alvarado on the other side. I guess you can make a case for guys like Murphy and Williamson, but I don't know how much I would have of those two currently.
I would say the case is like if you're playing 2 or 3 players on Denver and you want to run somebody back, and if this game is close, it's because either Denver's playing terrible and they're playing down to their competition, or New Orleans is playing an outlier game like Murphy's making his threes. Zion, Alvarado. I like the Alvarado play 4.8 on DK, even cheaper on FanDuel. Zion, we're getting it less than 10%. Still projecting him for just 28 minutes. It's hard to project him for any more than that. Murphy, he has those games where he just goes ballistic. We saw that. Was that last time out I was watching? He put up like 40 plus or so. Was that the game against Boston? I think it was. I totally love
really coming into his own, Murphy.
Yeah. That was, by the way, you and Kirkwood, you're trashing Tatum. Oh, let's trade Tatum for Luka.
Why couldn't we have traded Tatum for Luka? Why wasn't that deal offered? They didn't shop around.
I wonder who says no.
The Celtics would never do that. They love Tatum because
I think Boston
for all the reasons that they traded Luka in terms of like the defense, and Boston prides themselves on defense and being able to cover every position with every player. And I don't know. I feel like Luka can play defense if he wants to,
but the side note and all that, Luka, LeBron, Reeves, that defense is going to be terrible, and they have no center. The Laker defense is going to be terrible. I know they have more moves coming. I know there's more moves coming.
There are definitely more moves coming.
As it is right now, that defense.
I just don't know what else they can do because it's not like they have like these great pieces or assets, right?
Well, Reeves is like on a 4-year, like $50 million deal. He's an awesome contract, but I don't know if they want to move that. But he also like is very, very clearly the third guy, now. And it's just going to be the LeBron and Luka show going back and forth.
What are you moving Reeves for, though?
I don't know. A center. I assume a center. But he's got a great contract, so that's why I think he's an interesting trade piece. 35 minutes for Joker, 36 Murray, 33 Porter, 34 Brown, and we got 30 going to Gordon. If he doesn't go, I think Strother, who's already projected for 25, gets a boost. And again, I think there's a decent chance. Why would they give him the midday downgrade in the game they're supposed to blow out New Orleans? And he's also been terrible. He stunk, sticking up the joints. So my guess is Gordon is not playing. So like I like all these guys: Joker, Murray, Porter, Brown. I'm going to have at least one player on Denver in every lineup I'm making. We did get a Houston projection. We got crunch time coming in here shortly, but here's our Houston minutes. Oh boy. 38 for Amen, which might go over if that game stays close. Jalen Green, 36. Dylan Brooks, 32. Tari Eason, 31.
Told you he was going over 30, Dean.
Yeah. 31 for Tari Eason looks really good. Whitmore, 21. Tate, 21. Adams, 20. Green, 18. It's just I think the Tate one is a little shaky. I think that's tough. But I mean, he's starting, and you never know. But I don't know if he closes. I don't feel great about it, but I feel better if we needed it, but I don't think we need it right on this slate. There's just so much value stuff out there. All right, we have crunch time coming in here momentarily. I'm sure we have a fired up Kevin Roth. I want to get Roth's take. We have a lot to get to, but before we do that, Bobby, hit that like button. Those hanging out in chat, we appreciate. Let us know we're doing all right. Hit that like button and subscribe so you know when we go live. But Bobby, who's breaking the slate? Who's breaking the slate for you, Bobby?
I was gonna go Cade from the get-go, but a lot of values come out now. I'm still going Cade Cunningham. I like Cade Cunningham.
who's probably not going to get played, and he's been awesome, like 10% or so. They're saying Freddie VanVleet is officially week to week for what it's worth. Yeah, pretty bad. So All-Star stuff is coming up soon, so we probably won't see him until at least after the All-Star break. Let's go ahead. Let's bring in Crunch Time. They're saying that Kirkwood's on layaway. We got TastefulTides Tim. We got Kevin Roth. Crunch Time. Let's do it. Kevin Roth, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Take us through it. Take us through it.
I mean, what is there to say, Dean? It's the literal. There's no good. There's no upside. It's the literal.
Do you unfollow the Mavs on Twitter? Are you one of the many?
No, but I will. That's a good idea. You should. It's just so dumb. I see no way, no matter how many ways I try to break it down, I see no way where it makes any freaking sense at all. It's outrageous, man.
Lakers just got Robert Williams, apparently.
Is that true? I don't see it. Am I missing this? Is this on? Has news been broke somewhere? They're talking about it in chat. Do you see this officially or somewhere outside of chat?
I see it in chat.
Okay. You might have somebody spreading let's see. Johnny Johnson says Robert Williams, Rui and Connect.
Oh, Connect. There's no way
they have no need for Rui. They need a 3-and-D guy.
You think they're going to trade Connect? I don't think they're going to.
I mean, Dallas should have said like, "Hey, throw him in," and like.
I know
they did. They did, and then he just got talked out of it, as if you didn't hold the bargaining chip, as if you didn't have Luka. Like you just. I mean, Jesus.
It's like Kevin, you're holding the ace, bud.
Yeah.
Kevin, when you sell,
so how are you feeling, Kev?
I just give up. Like it's just so disheartening, honestly. And maybe they're still good this year or next year, but just as a move for the next decade. And that's the thing that really pisses me off is that we had Brunson and Luka, and we got rid of Brunson essentially because of Luka. And then you deal with what are you doing, man? It's so bad. And then in the press conference when they asked the GM, like, what does this mean 10 years from now? And he's like, when I think long term, I think 3 years from now.
He's like, I'm not going to be here in 10 years. And me and Jason Kidd were gone. We're fine.
I may not be there tomorrow.
Did you see Jason Kidd was miserable, right? In the press conference? Yeah. It was hilarious. So he did not, the curb music was like playing, just like when you zoom in on Jason Kidd. He looked miserable.
Yeah. It's just, it's really frustrating. It's really dumb, obviously. Like everyone knows it's dumb except the people who somehow did it. I don't even understand how it's possible. They went to the finals last year, for God's sake. The finals.
It's Kevin, you sold a house before, right? Haven't you sold a house, right?
Yeah, it's not very fun.
Would you have one person stop by and make an offer, or did you have like multiple people make an offer for the house and take the best offer?
No, you see how many people want the house, and then you get the best deal. That's how it works, Dean.
You don't just take okay, I'm just going to ask one person, hey, I have a house. What are you going to give me for this house? Does it work?
You just negotiate with one guy? No, it's not how it freaking works. By the way, I don't know if you saw, Luka had just bought a $15 million house in Dallas this week.
I didn't. That's, He lost $100 million as far as the Supermax as well. Like he's going to be all right, but he lost $100 million.
He wanted to stay. It's terrible. It's the whole thing sucks.
Yeah, I figured I'd get your take on this, and the whole thing is, they held a funeral. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see the funeral?
I didn't see that. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's a tough scene for Dallas. But anyway, we got Kirkwood as well. We have Tim. Tim, did you have a thought on this? Do you care about the trades and things?
Well, I don't really care, but I mean, I thought it was an awful trade. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I have nothing, vested in it, but I thought it was pretty horrible.
Kirk, would you take Luka or Tatum?
Tatum all day.
Well, you just trashed him.
You think I want that fat slob coming over here, out of shape? No. Tatum, the one thing about him, he's in shape.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
The audacity.
The guy's just, he's all about his own numbers. Luka, watch, it's just going to be a disaster.
Oh my gosh.
The Mavs won the trade.
You're just being a contrarian, right?
Yes.
Yes. You admitted it.
All right. Myself and Bobby, we appreciate you watching the first portion. We're going to pick some lineups. Don't go anywhere. You got 38 minutes. Tasteful Tides, Tim. You got Kirkdiese. You got Roth. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time. Two of the sharpest minds in the. Come on now. Come on, Steve. That ain't right. We're here to talk about the NBA slate, not the NBA breaking news, but there will be some moving pieces here as we move through things. I need to get over this tragedy. I need to take down a GPP. So I've got 3 lineups in, and throughout the course of the show, I'm going to try to jam in 10 more. I need something, and I need a victory in my life, and this is what it comes down to. So no pressure, boys, but I need your help. We got Tim, Tasteful Tides in the house. What up, Tim?
Tonight's gonna be your night, Roth. It's gonna be tonight. You're gonna take down a GPP. We're gonna help you out.
I love that. I need it. You like this slate?
I actually do like this slate quite a bit, and we've got a lot of news, yet to be had also. So I do like this slate quite a bit. Not a good night if you have plans to go out drinking, but if you're
what if I have plans to stay in drinking?
What's that?
What if I have plans to stay in drinking?
Hey, as long as you can get our alerts, you're good to go.
That'll work. Derek says Roth whiskey is the answer. I did that once. Was that around New Year's? I may have to resort back to that and hit the hard stuff. Got Chris Kirkwood in the house as well. Kirkwood, what up, man?
What up? What up? Doing well.
Good. We got to give the people some plays. You feel ready to do that?
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed at news just keeps coming in and coming. It's kind of an annoying slate to do any kind of content today, but I think we're okay right now. So
okay. Well, we will.
We can't play Şengün. That's the problem.
Why can't we play Şengün?
Because he's ruled out.
Oh, well then, yeah, you can't play him. Okay, well now that makes me want more Rockets because of Van.
Guess who's starting? Guess who's starting?
Steven Adams.
What? No. Who would you pick to start? Who would you want to start if you would want to get more minutes? That's a big on. That's not Landale.
I have no idea.
Tara Eason.
Oh, Tara Eason. Yeah. I'm not a huge.
He's awesome in DFS.
Yeah. All right. I'm in on that play. Hey, let's dive into it here. We did have some breaking news. Let's just jump right into FanDuel, Guard, Kirkwood. Run me through what we're doing.
All right. Well, it gets tricky right off the bat because one of the top studs on the slate is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, I have faded him before because I've thought of blowout risk, and the game stayed moderately tight, and he went absolutely nuked the slate against a bunch of bums, which is what he may very well do in this situation because Milwaukee is basically playing nobody tonight. So you got to make that decision. I still think that you have to, he's probably going to get less minutes. His efficiency goes up. I typically fade him in this, but it could hurt. But then again, I feel so strongly about Wemby on FanDuel tonight that I feel like it makes me feel a little better for not playing Shai. But regardless, so make your decision whether you want to play him or not. I mean, it's a cupcake matchup for him. He should do whatever he wants for as long as he's on the court. Cade Cunningham is the other star, like a stud right there with him in a good matchup against Atlanta. Atlanta's a little watered down tonight too, but gotta like him. We have going into today, the number one play was going to be Alvarado because DeJounte out for the season. Terrible. Feel awful for him. He's such a good DeJounte Murray is such a good ball player, such a good guy in general. Doesn't drink any alcohol or doesn't do anything bad in his life. Yeah, he's out for the season, so I've got to feel for the guy. But anyways, Alvarado should start. Now, there's a caveat there. They may pull at Jordan Hawkins and let CJ McCollum run point, but I think Alvarado will start. But watch for that. But Alvarado's definitely in play. Tyrese Halliburton is a strong play. Keon Ellis is value. Again, because they traded De'Aaron Fox, and then Jamal Murray could go off in this kind of a good matchup against the Pelicans here, a little watered down, and then Malik Monk, who's going to be the point guard now with he'll be the usage guard, but he'll be running the show. even if he's playing next to Keon Ellis, it'll be his show now that Fox is gone.
Okay. Tim, you got a few favorites there, point guard on FanDuel?
Yeah, so definitely with Kirky on Jose Alvarado. I think he's a really awesome play. Should be a really good game environment as well. And Alvarado is incredibly cheap. I do like Cade Cunningham also. The only issue with me is that it's one of the first games to lock, and we have news that's yet to be had. So I'm not crazy about locking up spots necessarily in the early game, but he is a really strong play. If you're not worried about the news or just want to get a guy in there early, he would definitely be that guy. So I don't mind that Cade call. I'm out on SGA. Obviously, if you want to play him, he's completely fine. But I'm personally out on him on my single entry and my cash game team. For just strictly point guard, I mean, there's a lot of shooting guard plays. Shooting guard, point guard, Malik Monk, I think Kirky mentioned at 7-8. I really like Malik Monk tonight. Stephen Castle at 5,600, especially if we were to lose Wemby. I think he would be a good play. But even if we don't lose Wemby, I do like Castle in GPPs at 5,600.
Okay. Take me to shooting guard.
Okay, so shooting guard is probably going to be just Ryan Rollins. He's definitely your cash game guy. He's 3,700. I think you can play him in GPPs. He's going to be super chalky. Milwaukee's basically missing all of their pieces. I'm assuming also that we'll be losing Brook Lopez as well at some point later in the night, but we're not guaranteed that. So I'm not positive of that. I'm just assuming it. But either way, Ryan Rollins, I think, is definitely a core play. AJ Green again with this Milwaukee team at 3,800. Those two are like your value guys. And then we've lost Fred VanVleet and Şengün. So Amen Thompson, that's 8,600. He's projected for 38 minutes. He probably plays more than that if this game stays close. So I think he's a fantastic play, a fantastic spend up option. I think Anthony Edwards is another really fantastic spend up option. Oh, and one more person is Jamal Murray, who I should have mentioned at point guard, 8,200 point guard, shooting guard. Jamal Murray is a really standout play in all formats.
Okay. Are they really planning on letting Amen Thompson run point, or are they going to have somebody else do that? Because if so, I want that guy.
I think they're planning on Thompson.
Okay. All right. Does that hurt him in any way? Is that going to hurt his rebounding rates? Anything like that? Or you're just like, all right, he's getting the minutes.
I think he's just going to be playing so many minutes. And like I said, he's going to play more than 38 if this game stays close. So I'm really not too worried about it. The thing I'm most worried about with him is just the matchup in general. And they could get blown out. But, if it stays close, he's going to play probably low 40s.
Yeah. Okay. That works for me. Kirkwood, your thoughts of shooting guard?
Yeah, the Knicks ain't blowing anybody out, let me tell you. After they couldn't beat Anthony Davis-less Lakers at home. And I hate them. But other than that, anyways, shooting guard, Ryan Rollins, definitely the play that I feel most comfortable with on Milwaukee. Milwaukee is going to be a train wreck this game. I don't know who they're going to be playing, who's going to get the minutes. Like, you got it. Like, it could be Gary Trent. Ryan Rollins, Trent is older. Taurean Prince is older. These guys are vets and key pieces of their rotation. Ryan Rollins has produced when he's been given the opportunity. He is a pretty good DFS player, like skill set wise, but this is also a tough matchup. But he's like the one guy I feel comfortable with.
The matchup is almost irrelevant at 3-7, right? Like, who cares?
Yeah, and like for a bunch of minutes, unless they they go like they have more guys than I'm expecting. Like we haven't seen a starting lineup. We have no idea what they're going to do. But anyways, he's the guy. Anthony Edwards looks like a strong stud play at shooting guard or small forward. Keon Ellis again for value if you need it. Isaiah Joe on OKC. He's had some massive games in these types of situations, and this is one of those times where he probably is he and Wiggins are probably the Thunder guys that I like the most. But again, this game, there's a lot of systemic risk, like totally in this game, because they could blow them out, they could not. And it plays like, then you want guys like Shea. If the game doesn't blow out, like this game will be a gold mine. But anyways, Tyrese Halliburton, I love against Utah. I love mostly anybody against Utah. I also like Pascal Siakam, but those are the two guys that I like on the Pacers. Jamal Murray again, Amen Thompson. You know, when you say doesn't that hurt his rebounding? No, it doesn't. It only just increases every usage for him.
Everything.
So
yeah.
It's like when point Giannis, not a little bit different, but like same concept. Like, you know, you want your guy who does everything to go out there and be able to do everything, and he's smashed. So love him. Jalen Green, probably another solid play in that game, and then Malik Monk again.
Can somebody look up his odds, Amen Thompson's odds for a triple-double? Because if we get point Amen and he's playing 40 minutes, he's getting the rebounds and the points. You know, the assists are the question.
Well, we might have to make it the supercut fade of the day triple-double play. That's what we did. We hit that with Sabonis on the last show.
Woo. All right, let's see. All right, take me to small forward, Kirkwood. What do you like there?
Okay, small forward. Okay, I mentioned Anthony Edwards already. Love him. Tari Eason now is certainly in play because he's getting the start. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but if he gets over 25 minutes, this guy is a good fantasy player usually. He hasn't looked as good coming back from like injury and whatnot, but he's certainly capable. They're going to need him to bang and against the Knicks. So he may get up to 30 minutes, which case he should be awesome. Miles Bridges, I love. Charlotte playing Washington is just anybody playing Washington and anybody playing a watered down Charlotte team. So this game should be great for fantasy too. Love that. Aaron Wiggins on the OKC. I said I like Wiggins and Isaiah Joe is probably the guys I feel most comfortable with. I think they'll be along for the whole game, whether it's a blowout or not. And then Michael Porter Jr. Taurean Prince is somebody who's going to project pretty well, but I don't know what they're going to do. Like it just makes sense to not run him a lot because he's a key part of your rotation. He's older, veteran, but then again, they may just let him go out there and ball. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Good stuff, Tim. Your thoughts at small forward?
Yeah, I completely agree with Kirky. I do want to mention Miles Bridges as a spend up option at 8,200. We always want to attack the Wizards. So if you want to get exposure against them, it would be Miles Bridges for me at 8,200. Thompson again, great call by Kirky on Tari Eason at 5,400. Projected to play over 30 minutes, so that's a fantastic spot. Aaron Wiggins is your spend down option. He's small forward only. I think he's a fantastic play. And, this Nuggets Pelicans game I absolutely love. So I really do like Michael Porter quite a bit. Seems like small forward's a sneaky good position tonight. And there's really not a whole lot of spend up options, but there's tons of really strong points per dollar plays at small forward today.
Okay, good stuff. Power forward, what do we like there?
Yeah, so we already talked about Eason. We talked about Michael Porter. Jaren Jackson Jr. at 8,500. I think he's a really spectacular spend up play, especially if Wemby were to sit. If we got that news, that would help Jackson even a little bit more, I think. So I think he's a good play. Precious Achiuwa at 4,800, projected to play right around 30 minutes. I think he's a decent value as well. I think if you want to spend up, I never mind playing Wemby on FanDuel at 11.8 in an amazing pace up spot. Not really sure if he's playing or not though, so that's the only tricky thing. But I mean, he's always such an amazing option. So if you want to take that chance, I think that's completely fine because this should be a really good matchup for him and his teammates.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got a question in the chat. Can I play Tari Eason and Amen Thompson? I was planning on it. Can I?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually kind of an interesting question. I was going to bring that up. I don't know how many Rockets I necessarily want on the same team. I think Eason is cheap enough, and Thompson should, play. They both should play enough minutes. So I think you can, but that's a really, really great question.
Okay. Kirkwood, power forward.
Yeah. So, like, this is the spot for me for Wemby if he plays, which I'm kind of thinking he does play. So I've been using that because he's had this illness for a little bit. And if he does play, this is Memphis, great block and steal matchup, like the best you can have. They're 25th in both of them, both categories, for opponent steals and blocks. So this is just a game that he could absolutely smash. And you know what? Butthole made a sharp comment. He said that Luke Kennard is gonna have to smash tonight, gonna have to shoot tonight. Now, if Ja's out, if this is a big if Ja's out, they're probably not going to have a ton of success going at Wemby down low, and they're probably going to be forced to play, to play their shooters, let them shoot. And Kennard, he kind of stunk last night, but he's someone that fits the mold. So I kind of like that idea, that concept. But if Ja plays, it's just going to be in Ja's hand. Miles Bridges, Tari Eason, Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm fine with Jaren Jackson Jr. He can hit a bunch of threes. He can do kind of a bit of everything. So he probably will have a tough time with Wemby. He probably may get in some foul trouble, but I still wouldn't avoid him in this spot. Precious Achua, like Tim said, like that, like Michael Porter Jr. I like Pascal Siakam, just a really good spot against the Jazz, who are just pathetic. That he gets cooking when he can get, stuff the stat sheet everywhere. And this is a matchup for him to do that. So I like that. And then maybe, did I say DeMar DeRozan? If I didn't, then
we haven't brought him up, but I do think he's a decent play.
He's definitely in play with Fox out. Time to step up a little bit.
Okay. Dean mentioning that Lopez is out. I think he actually said before he left that Lopez was probably that news was probably coming, or one of y'all did. Anyway, he is officially out for what it's worth. That brings us to the center spot. Kirkwood, what do you like?
All right, thank you, Dean.
Is there a big on Milwaukee that we can play?
Yeah, he's pretty bad, but there is. What's his name? It's like Kyle. It's like I get him and the Utah Jazz guy confused. Flopowski. It's Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up here.
Isn't it
Taylor Smith? He's like a power forward, big kind of guy that will play in this spot because Bobby Portis is out too. Other than that, I don't have any. Like he's their next biggest.
Viable?
Yeah, he's viable.
I'm playing his
kind
ass.
of. He's viable in the same way that any of these backup guys who barely play are viable. If they're tall, they can grab some rebounds.
It's great because he's power forward only, or at least that's what he is on DK. I haven't checked on FanDuel yet, but
yeah, he can play him.
Okay, what else are we doing at the center spot?
This would be like a G. If this turns out like a G League game, then he should be good. Mark Williams, probably the best play because he's facing Charlotte and he's facing Washington and his minutes are just so secure and he's good. And the problem is though, if you want that, you may want to end up playing with a bunch of value everywhere. You can get the Joker pretty easily, and I'd probably side with Joker. So that's a big decision point. So there's Joker and or Mark Williams or Wemby, but you're going to do Wemby at the power forward slot anyway. So because you do have another piece of value too, and there's J-Val, who's been terrible recently. The fact that if he's not on a back-to-back, I'm okay with him. And he should be rested. This is a good matchup for him. They don't have many other options. He's only 5,700. He's coming off of a solid game for once. So this is probably as good a spot for Joval that I've seen on this season. So 5,700 can definitely do that if you're not playing Joker. Other than that, Gobert is cheap, 6,600. I could see him doing pretty well against Sabonis. And so I think that could work out. And then Cat, without much of the way for bigs on the Rockets with all their bigs out tonight. Just, he could put up a solid game too, although his usage has been down. He's been banged up a little bit, so I don't love him, but I could see it working for GPPs.
Tim, your favorite center?
Yeah, I completely agree with Kirky. Like the big decision point is do you play Mark Williams or Jokic? There's builds that are really, really strong with both those guys. Cat would be my favorite of the like GPP large field centers at 9,800. I don't mind the Gobert call. Joval is obviously fine. Like he's super cheap. I'm a little bit hesitant just because center is really, really strong. But yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic spot. So if you do want to spend down at center, it would be Joval. But I'm not going to be doing that personally. I'm either going to be playing Williams, Jokic, or Cat. So just wanted to be clear on that. And I also I don't mind Jalen Duren at 6,900 for like really, really large field GPPs.
Okay. I want to kick it over to DK. We've got 16, 17 minutes until lock. Before that, make sure you're getting this deal while we've got it hot, fresh out the oven, limited time. First month of Combo Pro, $79.99. That's $15 more than PGA Premium. You get all the sports. It's $5 more than NBA Premium. You get all the sports. You might as well be doing that. First month Combo Pro, $79.99. Make sure you're signing up for it. Let's kick it over to DraftKings here. I don't know. Is there big differences between the two, or are we kind of talking about the same stuff here, Tim?
It's very, very similar. You're definitely getting to Ryan Rollins at 3,100, Jose Alvarado at 4,800. Both fantastic plays. You can definitely still play Cade Cunningham if you want to in GPPs. Jamal Murray. I mean, it's really pretty much the same group of guys. I'm not seeing anything that's that much different that I would really be sticking out as a big difference. So I think personally, you're playing both Ryan Rollins and Jose Alvarado in cash games today.
Okay. Kirkwood, what are you doing at point?
So Ryan Rollins for sure. Again, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, if you want to map out the script where he goes off in your head, which could certainly very well happen. And you could load up with some of these Milwaukee guys on the other side for cheap. Anthony Edwards, love. Cade Cunningham, I like. Jamal Murray, I like. Jamal Murray is too cheap on DraftKings for a while now, and he's consistently been too cheap for the upside that he can bring. So 7,400, I like that. Tyrese Halliburton, I like. You can play him on Thompson here. Probably better off doing it at small forward, but whatever your lineup, however best works for you. And Jose Alvarado.
Okay. Take me to shooting guard. I'm playing a lot of Keon Ellis. Is that
a
dude I should not be playing a lot of?
I wouldn't expect he's cheap and he's probably going to get the start, and he's more of a good defensive player. He may hit a bunch of threes. He's good. He's good for the price with De'Aaron Fox out. It's not a bad play by any means.
Okay.
It's a good.
All right, that's just where I keep landing salary wise. All right, what do you like at shooting guard?
I like Jamal Murray again, Edwards again, Malik Monk again, Keon Ellis again. Starting to like Jalen Green more and more. Isaiah Joe for OKC for the punt. AJ Green is a shooter for Milwaukee. 3,300. He's probably safe for minutes, I think, and he'll be chucking. Luke Kennard, the butthole play of the day. And then, I'll leave it at that. And Stephon Castle until Fox gets there. I wonder I can't wait to see actually how they look with Fox.
I know.
They're going to play. They have such a good young – they have such an awesome young core.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, your thoughts on shooting guard?
Yeah, pretty much the same as Kirky. The only other people I'd mention are Devin Vassell at 6K. Going to play, pretty big minutes here in a really, really good matchup. Julian Strother for super cheap, and Christian Brown at 5,200. Really like him as well. So those are the only guys that I would add to the shooting guard spot.
Good timing. Donnie Watson in the chat had just asked about him, so good work there. All right, small forward. What do you like there?
So I think Amon Thompson's probably my favorite overall play at 8,300. Aaron Wiggins at 53, I think, is a really good spend down option. DeMar DeRozan is really cheap at 6,300, projected for high 30s minutes. Not the best matchup, but he's so cheap. So I don't mind DeRozan. I love Michael Porter Jr. at 5,900. That's one of, if not my favorite game on the entire night. So I really do like Michael Porter quite a bit. I think Andre Jackson is okay at 3,600 as like a spend down option. But mostly
I could see that working. I could see him.
that?
I like him. That's one of my UConn brethren. I could see him work. Like no one's talking about him today. He doesn't seem like he's going to be played a bunch.
Yeah, I mean
so
this Milwaukee game is pretty tough to decipher, to be honest with you. But I think a couple of these guys are just going to do really well just by default. So Andre Jackson's definitely on my radar. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the position that I mostly want to like live in the mid range outside of Thompson.
Okay, I think I just that's the dude, Andre Jack. I just jammed him in lineup, so I like to hear that. Kirkwood, small forward. What are you doing there?
Amin Thompson, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. Joe and Wiggins are the two OKC cheapies. Well, they're not really cheap. They're 5,300 and 4,200, but cheap for the scenario that we're all expecting that they'll be out there playing, even in garbage time. Michael Porter Jr. with Westbrook being out, and there's just more minutes. More usage, I'd say, actually, in a game that he should be able to do very well in against the Pelicans. I like DeRozan. Taurean Prince, I don't know. I want to play him, but I'm kind of fearful of it. So I'm siding with the don't play because he's older, but could certainly crush at 4,200. I don't mind Gary Trent Jr., but he's in the same ballpark. And then on the other side of the Denver game, Trey Murphy looks pretty solid play at 7,800. Okay. And like I said, I like Andre Jackson too. I could see that working.
Yeah. All right. I want to go to power forward. Negative Creep says, where's the tiny hands play of the day? My tiny hands play of the day is at power forward. I will let you guys go first and see if you mention him before I bring him up. So what do you like, Kirkwood?
I'm trying to look at the guys and think who has tiny hands here. Because so like I see like Jaren Jackson Jr., Pascal Siakam. Those guys have big hands, right?
Yeah.
Have to.
I don't know if their hand size actually matters in the tiny hands play of the day for what it's worth.
I feel like Zion probably has tiny hands, even though he's a big, oversized.
It seems unlikely, but
I don't know. I'm gonna say Zion Williamson, the guy who will play and blow out run anyway because they just play him up to his minutes allotment anyway. Probably not going to be high owned at all. So let's make Zion Williamson the tiny hands play of the day.
Okay. What else do you like there at power forward, Kirkwood?
Pascal Siakam, I love. Jaren Jackson, I like. Michael Porter Jr., I like. Aaron Wiggins, I think I love it. Aaron Gordon, 4,500. He doesn't have any injury tag, does he? No, he does. He's questionable.
Yeah, he does. He's a midday questionable or mid-afternoon questionable.
Forget him. He's probably out then. So
that's something to pay attention to for sure.
Yeah. So then who would I play? And I mean, so then it would be Christian Braun, but that's a different position. So don't worry about Denver. I'm gonna get it off my head.
Okay.
But anyway, Naz Reid, I really like. If his finger's okay for 6K, could certainly smash. And Miles Bridges is an awesome play. I don't care what price it's against the Wizards. He's got massive usage without LaMelo Ball. It's going to be his game tonight. So even 9K looks really hard to play. What we're used to with this guy on DraftKings, but I think he's worth it.
Okay, Tim, your thoughts at power forward?
Yeah, so we just put in Tyler Smith's new projection, and he's got 28 minutes and projected to start. So he would definitely be a standout value at the min 3K.
I feel like I did that.
What's that?
I feel like I did that. I made that happen.
Right on. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to go there, I'd go Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Wiggins is fantastic also. I already talked about JJJ. I like him quite a bit. Tari Eason at 5,400, I think is completely fine as well. But yeah, I mean, I think if Smith does start, I think you're playing Tyler Smith in cash games today. And I think he gets blowout run also. So I feel like there's at least a little bit of an element of safety with him, and he's the Stoneman. So I think you're playing him if he starts, that you're playing him in cash games.
Okay. My tiny hands play of the day was not mentioned. It is Kyle Kuzma. My tiny hands
wow.
6'2". He's probably going to take 25 shots. He's going to take 10 threes. He could he can put up 50 plus fantasy points. He is my tiny hands play of the day. Get you a little bit of Kuz. Take me to the center spot, Tim.
Yeah, so I mean, we have got so much value, and we might be getting even more later on the night. So I mean, I think it's definitely you're playing Jokic at center, 12-3. Absolutely fantastic matchup. I know there's blowout risk, but I don't really care. So I'm definitely playing him. We already talked about Joval at 5'8". I think he's okay. Mark Williams is obviously a really, really strong play, 8,400. Yeah, I mean, you can always play Wemby, but I think if you're going that high up, I would just find the money for Jokic. And then I do like Jalen Duren in GPPs. I just want to say that at 6,400, I think he does have a ceiling at that price tag.
Okay, very good. Kirkwood, your thoughts at center?
All right. There's a lot of big-handed guys over here, so we're going to have to make it a guard going forward, tiny hands plays. But, all right. The Joker, top play for me at the center position. If you can get him, Wemby right there with him for cheap. He's Wemby's cheaper. If he does play, then love this spot. J-Val, 5,800. This is as good a J-Val as spot you're going to get. So I think this is the time plan. Doesn't mean he's going to smash, but I think it's in his favor too. Mark Williams, like a lot. Cat, I like Naz Reid. And I should have said him before on FanDuel. I like him on both sites. I just think this could be a good offensive setup for him. And then Sabonis.
Okay, very good. Guys, we've only got 4 or 5 minutes here until lock. Tim, did get someone, Tyler in the chat, say, can I get a DK core recap? You got your guards. You got the big man from Milwaukee now, so that's 3.
Yeah, so I think it's Ryan Rollins. I think it's Tyler Smith.
And was Alvarado in the mix?
I mean, definitely in the mix, but I think a core 3 would be Rollins, Smith, and then Jokic.
Okay, very good. Let's see what else we've got. I'm going to start in the Discord as always. If you're watching this on YouTube and you learned a lot, or you thought, wow, these two are smart and the guy in the middle is an idiot, hit that thumbs up for us. That is what we're asking for. And also sprinkle a little bit on that Amen Thompson triple-double, 15-1. Let's see what we got. DK Cash question from Achilles. Tim, I'm coming to you. DDR, Jamal Murray, and Miles Turner, or SGA, Tyler Smith, and Joval?
Man, I really like some pieces on both of that question. I guess it's SGA, Tyler Smith, and Joval.
Okay.
But I think Jamal Murray is a really amazing cash game play, so I'd try to get him in there too.
Yeah. Donnie says, Kirkwood, who's stopping Hartenstein on Milwaukee?
Probably nobody.
Yeah.
But he probably won't play a ton of minutes. I think it's fine. I just don't think they give him a ton of minutes in this spot.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. Boy, there are a lot of comments, and I'm kind of struggling.
It's going to be Tyler Smith guarding him.
Yeah, but Tyler Smith is going to stop him. There's your answer. Antonio,
to be honest with you, I thought it was. Sorry, I was going to say I thought it was Taylor Cabby Smith, but
I don't know what that means. It's fine.
Sorry,
Antonio says, hey, thanks, fellas, for your feedback. What do you think, FanDuel, Precious or Santi Aldama? Power forward, Tim?
It's Precious.
Okay, that was a straightforward, confident answer. Darren says, FanDuel Cash, Triple J Monk, Wemby. Okay, I think I got it. Triple J and Monk, or Wemby and Ellis or McBride.
I'll go with the Wemby Ellis, but they're both awesome.
Okay.
I just love Wemby if he plays.
Yeah, it was like a 2v3, which is why it took me a while to read that. Let's see what else we've got. Any interest in Tyrese Halliburton? Tim, I had some Halliburton and then I lost him as we kind of things developed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a fantastic spot. I think he's okay. Not really somebody that I'm getting to in a 3-max build, but if you're, playing large field GPPs, it's okay.
Okay. Let's see. Can I play Naja Boy? Says Kirkwood. Can I play Michael Porter, Jokic, Jamal Murray, all on DK in a small field GPP?
I mean, you better throw some other side on there. I think that's one too many. I think it's possible, but I think that's one too many. I would pick your favorite 2 there and go.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Tides, DK GPP, Ellis, Vassell, or Kennard and Alvarado.
Kennard Alvarado.
Butho wants to know my skinny wrist play of the night. I do have some tiny little wrists. Tiny little skinny wrists. Skinny wrist play of the night is without a doubt Wemby. It's Wemby. He might always be my skinny wrist play of the night.
You want to know what's crazy? You guys ever met Dean in person?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dean has tiny hands. He can barely palm a tennis ball. Fun fact. Just wanted to throw that out there.
That's so random and unnecessary. Can barely palm a tennis ball.
I shook his hand. I was like, oh my God.
LMI says DKGPP Kirkwood, Risa Shea and Andre Jackson, or Tyler Smith and Wiggins.
Tyler Smith and Wiggins.
Okay. Donnie says Tyler Smith 40% in a GPP. How do you handle that, Tim?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely going to be getting super steamed. Yeah, I'm still going to roster him.
Okay. We're gonna eat it. We're gonna eat that chalk. Let's see. Maybe it might be too late for this. I'm sorry, I missed a couple in the Discord as I was in the YouTube. Alex says, "Can we take Wemby or SGA as your favorite spend in DK Cash, Tim?"
I don't like either one of those guys in cash games, but if you pick one, I don't really know. I mean, I guess it's SGA, but I don't really like either one of those guys in cash.
Okay.
Ja is in, by the way, which was one thing that we were waiting on.
Okay. Good stuff. Guys, we have hit the lock. We have done the things that we came here to do. Now we're going to bounce out. I got to watch some sports. I got to win some GPPs. I got to feel better. I got to open a bottle of whiskey and have myself a night. So for Kirkwood, for Tim, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have